Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Space Engineers. In today's episode, I want to get as much of that scripting finished as possible. Hopefully we can get it fully working. There's a couple of things I want to refactor, that is, move around, shift around, and rewrite in the code, make it neater. I want to put up a couple of LCD panels to display various things. One of them is going to be very useful. Having the welder display its contents will allow us to program the actual quantities we want to keep inside the welder. So I'm going to have an LCD display with the exact IDs that I need in order to order up everything I need, etc, etc. So we'll hopefully get that working. What else do we need? I wanted a couple of extra commands to be able to send to the drilling operation. One of them should be pause, so that I can just click a button and zoop, it should connect, and then there we go. We have our drilling rig connected again. I suppose I could also add these as notes. So, oh yeah, and I wanted to also, I'm not liking the way we currently get the drill rig blocks via exact names. It's quite cumbersome in the ini script, so what I'm going to do is what is regularly done in other scripting bits of code, programmable block script, is to use a tag, and then in the config we will add that tag in as a custom field, so we can change it if we want. And later maybe I can add some code that can easily be inserted into any of my scripts so that we can have any number of tags and whatnot. So anyway, I also realized finally that I've misspelled tether. It's not got an A in it. We will see. There we go. Using the to-do list again. Refactor code, LCD panel with welder inventory, start using camera to speed up extension, add pause mode, add tag to blocks, use to find the blocks, and finish tether extension code, I suppose. So, right, what shall we do first? I think we could actually just add the LCD panel on and then see where we go from there. It's an easy thing to do, build something, see when I've built that then. So where are we going to put these? I'm kind of feeling we're probably going to end up covering them, or actually, if we put a block here, we can put them up here, and then put their edges together. So let us use one of these, like that, but we don't have the plate. And is that the right way? Yes. And should we do that one as well? No, we'll leave that for now. So, if I go 9, we can do one there, and then on the edge, and on the edge. There we go. There we go. And that should be cool. Hello, and we're back in Visual Studio. So, there's a couple of things I wanted to do in the code. A couple of refactorings. For a start, I wanted to rework the way we do these modes. There's often a case where each of the modes will want to control the various blocks that are part of the rig. For instance, switching the drills on and off, changing the piston to go up and down to various speeds, etc, etc. And I feel the modes could really be written in a way such that they are drill state or something. True. Piston state down. If you see what I mean. And we'd have various ones then. And then at the very end we'd have condition and then branch. So this is only pseudocode really, but what we're going to have here is a bunch of these, and for every mode we're going to use all of the same functions, just give it different values. So drill state true would be switch on the drill and turn the rotor on, so that we got the rotating motion, the drill's going, etc, etc. Piston state, we probably have true for down and then a speed of say 0.1f or something. So this would be continually moving based on that sort of thing. And then the condition would be, so I suppose what I'm writing currently is actually, I'm going to do mode drilling. We'd have that condition and then we'd change the mode. I also want to get rid of this filled flag. If we do it correctly, then making modes should be extremely simple. It'll also mean that I can just slot this drill state into every mode and set it to false. So we'll never have any unknown states. It'll just continually update all of the blocks in the way that we want them to work at the time. So, and then this condition will just flag up when we're changing. So we can get rid of the filled by having two retracting states. Retracting, not filled, retracting, filled, and then connecting drop off or something, and then connecting I suppose, is it connecting? We'll have to have a think about it, but it's probably going to go straight into mode unmerged. So I suppose instead of mode retracting non-filled, it's going to be mode retracting building or something, and at the end it will connect these and then go straight into unmerged. That'll work. Okay, I'm going to tweak the way this works up here. I don't like the fact we've got all these names. It just feels messy to me, and this feels like boilerplate, so I can neaten this up. I'm going to refactor this to make it look a bit better, and then we can do some functions to replace these entirely. So it'll search for a tag, which will be something on the end of the names that looks like this. So automated mining. So AM within the tags. In the future, I might have, and so on and so forth. So I'll have to be careful about that later, but for now we're not going to have that. We're just going to have this. So I'll rewrite it to find all the blocks that it needs to with the correct tags on it. So there's that. Let's go down and remove this because that's pseudocode. I wanted to change this up a bit. Yeah, I think I'm just going to refactor some of this stuff into, they'll be in the mode, the state functions. State fill assembler, state fill welder, etc. I've discovered that there's going to be a nice way to fill the inventories. I can use, I believe the way this will work is if I set the other connector, so this connector is the one on the drill rig, other connector will be the connector we're connected to, and then we can do collect all true. So I think it should remove everything from the drill rig, in which case we'll need a item filter in that straight conveyor tube between the connector and the storage cargo storage container below that. If we have that item filter, then we can just filter stone, and hey presto, we have a nice way. We don't have to search, because if I go here I have to search through all the other things on the grid in order to fill them up, and it's not very nice, and this will interfere with whatever inventory management we've got on the other side. I don't know, we'll see. So was that everything? Oh, and one last thing, display functions. Where is it? when I go into main, I want at the very end here, or perhaps I suppose it can go here. I want some display functions. Should be able to find the LCDs that are on the drill rig via the tag and display various bits of data that I'm looking for. I think that's it for now, but I've got a few plans in the future, but that will be what I'm doing in this programming session. So I think it's going to be a little time lapse from here, so see you on the other side. Hello, Editor Alan Mechanist here, and I think this episode turned out to be a little bit of a debugging debacle. You'll have to see by the end of the episode how it turns out. However, I did have to edit out a large part of the debugging, but I feel like it gives a good idea of the progress towards the goal of having a functioning mining rig. In this programming session, I do manage to get the bulk of what I wanted to do done, and I am actually quite proud of how it turned out, so I'm happy with the code as it is. It's just, it would have been better if I'd done little portions and tested it as I went. However, recording programming, which I'm still figuring out the best solution for, kind of encouraged me to do it all in a one big block, well, with breaks in between. And that is because the episodes would end up ballooning if I try to show writing functional code intermixed with the effort to debug it and make sure it works correctly. So I'm not actually sure of the correct solution for that, but maybe all I have to do is not show so much of the debugging, find a way of condensing the debugging and just describing what the solution was after the problem and the solution. And I do think there is some value in showing that, because I often think that the process of debugging is like problem solving. It's puzzles. You have to figure out a way of, firstly, figuring out what is going wrong, and secondly, figure out how to fix it. So it's quite like engineering, and it is engineering, software engineering, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to keep it in. It fits with the theme of space engineers. When debugging, information is key. Finding a way to display what it is the programming is doing is often the first step in understanding what's going wrong. I often say that programming is an exercise in humility. If a program is made up of 1,000 simple lines of code and something goes wrong, then it was one of those simple lines of code that went wrong. And that is a humbling experience, since when you start to learn coding, you're sure that every line of code you write is absolutely correct, yet it still went wrong somewhere. You need to learn how to not make assumptions when debugging and test each piece of functionality and make sure it's doing what you expect it to be doing. An example of this was the merge blocks, which I'm, well, as it seems, I'm writing right now on the screen. The problem with the merge blocks was you'll see later when I get to this stage in the debugging, I get to the stage where it has to unmerge, and what I wanted to do is I wanted to unmerge the other block. So we've got two merge blocks and we're connected to the other block, but there's no simple function just to get the other merge block. So I had to calculate where it is. So you take the merge block, you find the direction forwards, and then move one block along and say what block's there, and if that's a merge block and we're merged, okay, and switch that one off. Thing is, it wasn't working. It was still attached after this. And without any input, I didn't know what was going on. So later on, while I debugged this, I set up the screens that I built in order to display all of the merge blocks in the build, and display the coordinates of each of those merge blocks, and then display what coordinate it thinks that it's trying to unmerge. As it turns out, it was going off in the wrong direction, and I'd made an assumption in a very simple line of code that it was the forward direction out of the merge block that was the connection point. And as you'll see later on, you can display the directions of a block using build info. And there was forwards, right, and up. And it turns out that the connection point is to the right of the block, not forwards. So by displaying the information, I found the root cause of the problem and was able to solve it. And I think we are coming to the end of this programming session, so I will leave you with the last few seconds. And we're back, and I think it's high time that we tested all of this. So, one last save, and swap over to the game, which is this button here. Back in game, and let's have a look. So, if I recompile, no, done this again. We've got to go back in here and deploy. And now, go back to the game again, come back in here. Is this the new? So yeah, they've done quite a few neatening up things, and I'm actually quite proud of the script now. So, still temporary, still rewriting this in a form that will go together with everything else. Okay, block of type T not found at... Oh, let's change that. What has happened here is when we do these assign block type, I have an error that should print out block of type not found, but I've done name of. I thought it would give me the name of the type, but it's giving me the name of the generic type, not the actual type. So, what do I do? Type of. We'll see if that works. Of type, my ship drill not found. Yes. Okay, that's more like it. I knew I had to do this anyway, but anyway, we have a number of things we have to now rename. For instance, let's see, all of these drills, we've got to add a little tag on, automated mining. And that seems to be all of them. Okay, LCD panel, there we go. Okay, I think that is everything renamed. Let's have a look at the programming book. If we recompile, we still get our error. Custom name drill for AM. Tag AM clamp found false. It's looking for the wrong one. Right, okay, I think I know what's going on. Yeah, why is that one? Should be that one. Perfect. So I probably it's a copy paste error. Copy pasta. Box of type. My sensor. Yes, because I'm builder. Okay, we're getting there. Phew. Oh no. Have I been on the code? Oh. Anyway, in case I missed it as well, I added the sensor and this sensor to detect whether the merge block and the what will be the connector have actually are there while we're grinding, so we know when the grinding has finished. And I added this filter to make sure that I didn't transfer things I don't want to transfer. What I need to do next is figure out why this connector is not connecting. Oh, we did connect that time. Oh. Okay, so we've got a bug with the next section, but this is so cool, even though it's not working. So, there's a couple more problems, but we're getting there. It attempted to do the build a new section part, but it didn't seem to be doing it correctly for whatever reason. Perhaps the switching the other merge block didn't quite work correctly. Why does this not work? Because I would think this should work, because what will happen, what this bit of code does, is it goes into the grid terminal system and it looks for all the other blocks that are on the same grid terminal system, and it's looking for the one in the position one away. Unless that's not forwards. One along the Z. It's going in the wrong direction. You're looking for the wrong block. So, what is forward on this block? What is anything? Okay, so what I was doing was I was searching for the block that it's actually merged to, the merging direction, but let's get the G menu and merge block. So let's get the merge block back. So which is forward on this? How do you tell which is forward? Control plus. Aha! So it's right. It's right I'm looking for. Yes! Thank you. Bill, no. There's left. And I should be able to invert it using the base class, I think. I just need to negate here. Yes, thank you. Whew. Okay, let's see if this works. Right, back into the game. Switch over. Say it twice because it's important. And run. Go down. Now we're going to mode retracting. Unmerged. Come on. It's in unmerged and it worked, but we're not going down. Why are we not going down? Locked on. Those should be expanding, but nothing's happening. This is fascinating. It's off. Okay, this does seem like a script error. Okay, well, let's see what we can do. I'm going to put this in manual mode. That's what it's there for. Mystery. I'm just going to have to keep on fiddling until I fix this, so I will be back after I manage it, but I'll keep on recording in case anything happens. Let's try and figure out why these are not unclamping. So you should be... you're off. Hang on. Oh, it was off, but it wasn't unlocked. That's ready to lock. Oh, I think I have found the problem. Right. So if we go here and nope, still not working. And then what we do is we go here, off. Almost. 1.5. We're almost there. Come on. Right. So, what is going on now? We are halfway between two blocks. This hasn't gone all the way. We're not reaching anything down here. This should not be a problem. So what are you getting caught on? To be honest, I am tempted to grind away you. Oh. And it snapped. Right, were you the problem, mister? Right, so what I want to do is to unlock that. I think switching it off is not the same thing. Okay, so clamp. Here we go. Enable. Right, so rather than that, we're always going to keep it enabled, but lock. Toggle lock. Right, so it's basically if enable gear does not equal G dot is locked, and then we toggle lock. Fingers crossed. I think. How do we run it? Manual is activated, but what we want to do is run it with a particular way of just running it. We're gonna have to, because we've got to be careful. Set of actions. The state we want to run it into is mode. Is it grinding? Is it clamping? So we're now attached to that one, and we want to clamp. This could all go terribly wrong. So we were in unmerged, and then we connected. So what we should now be in is mode clamping. Okay. And what it waits for is the correct clamping state. The gear is locked. Okay. This should work, hopefully. Let's go back to the game. And one last check. Edit, browse scripts, in-game script. Okay. Run it. And clamping. Oh, not quite. We are now in manual mode. And we can set this off on. Okay. And then we can toggle this off and on. Phew. Okay, so it's not working quite correctly. Oh, that's it. So it's not quite working correctly because this doesn't... It merges back on too quickly. Okay. So while drilling, we need to make sure we're unmerged. Actually, no. I think what happens is we jump to the next stage way too quickly. Which would mean that these sensors are incorrect. So this is true, and then we go through all of our sensors, and then as long as everything is not active. Let's have a look in game. Oh. Oh, is it because it's already been... And that one should be... Erg. Oh. Oh, it's because we're connected. Okay, right. Let's take that off. I think it's because we just needed that on. There we go. Okay, let's switch you on, I think. And oh, it goes a bit too far back. Back extent can just go to 2. Okay, and then it no longer detects anything, and we can take that off. And we can go to state we're at welding, but we don't have anything. Okay. Back in manual. Oh, we're not far enough down. Oh, because we've reached stop. Okay. Pause. There we go. Okay, bit of a shambles, but it's almost the entire system's working now. So, I'm going to go back to the code. Let's have a look at why the welder wasn't being kept on in welding mode. Okay, so if we go to mode welding, I'm sure we were in weld state. Welding false. Well, that should be true. And I think the last thing to do is actually get the working. The list of items we need for the assembler and welder. There we go. Assembler inventory. We've got something in there, but it's not showing exactly. Did it already go down one? Oh. So there seems to be a problem with the logic going down. It's deciding to retract too early. So let's fix this first. What I need to do is push this back up. So I need to, first of all, I need to set it to manual. Make sure it's in manual. We are currently in manual. That was a lot more useful than I thought it was going to be, actually. I'm quite pleased I added that in. So we've got that merge block on. And in fact, we need to switch this one off temporarily. Okay, there we go. And the block is on, but we need to extend it. And then, once we're here, put this on. There we go. So the question is, why are you considering yourself fully extended? Well, why not make it stretch a lot further? Let's just go for 3 blocks, maybe? I also want to see, yes, before I run, let's see if I can fix the display. What are we trying to display? Oh, subtype ID, I suppose that makes sense. We need to print out the subtype IDs. So if we go to inventory display, that's item ID, my item type, subtype ID, there we go. That's the one we wanted. That seems to be working. What about this? Yes! Oh no! Subtype ID. And I believe this is what I'll need to copy in there, won't it? Phew! This looks like I'm on the right track. And run. Now, stone! Yes! Right, so, okay. Next on the list is, I want to go G menu. Let's get a connector. No, it's just a build planner. Connector, conveyor, tube, build planner, half block, add to build planner, and merge block, add to build planner. Right, and I haven't got anything else in my inventory. I should be able to order this up. All components, right. Oh! It flung them through there. Right, so, should no longer be stolen, I think. No, they are all being stolen. Where are they going? They're all going into here, aren't they? This is going to make it a bit difficult. Let's just see if it works so far. Let's go. So we are in drilling. Yay! Connecting. It's trying to deliver all of its stone. So what is going on here? Oh, that is quickly going down. Let's actually check up here. Are any of these filling? Yes, they are. I think it's actually working. What I should have is the amount of stone or whatever in the entire system in there. Right, you're empty. You're empty. You're empty. You're not. Is that going to be a problem? There we go. Now it's happy. Oh my goodness. Almost! Oh, why? And what is it? Mode welding. I think that is gonna have to be all we have for today. I've gotten exceedingly close to getting this working. I'm gonna be so excited when, so ecstatic or whatever the word is, when I get this perfectly working, but still needs quite a bit of little bits of work. So I think that is all we have time for. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Okay, after much trial and tribulation, I may have this working. There's been so many bugs, and I don't know how much I'm going to cut out, but some of the latest bugs were this whole top section became a station, and I believe it was this piece here was intersecting with the ground here. As you can see, it's just at the right level to do that. I don't know whether this piece here is going to have the same problem. What I'm probably going to have to do is start expanding the drill setup slightly. I could put a piston on here, make it grind out a bit more. Either that or just do a smaller design. In fact, I've got a bit of the room. If I go in that way, this side doesn't seem to be a problem because it's on this piston anyway, and it's not being merged here. The only problem is everything on this side of the piston. These ones don't have a bounding volume. So if I get out the drill, you can see the green line just a bit. The bounding volume of this is quite clear cut, whereas this, it seems like it's going to be fine. This one, I think it's going to be fine. It may just meet up, and then this one's definitely fine. So yeah, is this going to be a problem? Is this going to be a problem? This one certainly was. I can only hum and ha. I'm sure the pistons, yeah, the pistons do have attachment points here. And we're going to be grinding away the merge blocks, so we're not going to have any trouble with that. So, oh, we're going up. I think this may be working. Let's see. We are currently unwelded. It's going down. Yeah, clamping on, grinding away. I had to set a timer for the grinder because it was not grinding fully. Okay, yes, we are connected. We are welding. And oh my goodness, it worked! Yes! Oh, this is fantastic. So, I think coming back to do some debugging was the right idea. So, I'm going to have a lot of editing to do because I don't know how much of that to show of the earlier work. I'm kind of disappointed I can't get this little corner in, but oh, it's so close. Let's have a look. Does this consider itself a station again? Well, actually it will currently, because we are well merged up. So let's just have a look, see if this does another round. One thing I haven't quite gotten to work is the camera detecting how far off the ground it is. I increased the speed of the rotor and the piston going down, but it might be a little bit too fast. We'll see. Oh, we're in delivering state, so this will drop off the rock. It makes that annoying noise on the way up, but not on the way down. It's a bit weird. So it's connecting, and we can see the stone slowly being dropped off. Oh, and you may notice in my inventory I've got 2 bottles. I ended up falling to my death while the camera wasn't on. So, tally number 3, death number 3. It's rather hard to die in the programming episode, so I'm a little bit behind, but 2 bottles is actually quite nice. It gives me a bit more time to get stuff done. And where's the stone gone? It's gone down the list. There it is. So what's happening? Ah, there it's gone. And any second now? Another one of the bugs I had to figure out was these were filling up with components. Yes, so I couldn't have it where the welder keeps the components. Oh, welder. Because it doesn't... It pushes them back into an inventory straight away. It only pulls them as it needs them. So it has to be entirely on the assembler side that we keep stocked. And I think... Are we having a problem where we're filling with... Right, yeah. So it's not a perfect system yet, but... Yeah, this is filling up with ingots. Am I just going to have to add ingots to the filter? Yeah, let's go for that. It's not the best solution, but gravel was filling it up. Obviously, ores would include stone. I didn't want to put ingots because that will cause problems itself. Yeah, they're disappearing now. Neto. How did... You go back, you go back, you go back. Bring you in. Bring you in. I don't even know what that is. What is that? Oh, there we go. I'm not sure about the ingots because we need that in order to build components, but we've currently not got a queue of anything. We'll see how it goes. I think it'll be fine. Because we're entirely relying on what stone we refine while we're not connected. It's a bit of a weird system. But I am quite happy with the way it works. So it's off again. Let's see if it does another round. I spent absolutely ages trying to figure out why it was considered a station. But the forums were helpful. They did explain that some, well, among many solutions, there were solutions like giving it to a neutral faction and then bring it back. I'm not sure. Do some research before you try that one. I didn't need to try that one because I knew I built everything. Blocks which have a bigger footprint than... Let's see if I can get this. Yeah, you can kind of see the footprint of this one is much bigger than the really small sensor block. It comes out all the way to a full block. Except this one doesn't enter the dirt, so that's fine. And the other sensor on the other side as well, that's fine as well. It's over this merge block as well. So this merge block would be a problem as well. This is fine. So it's really just this bit at the top. So I'll have to have a think about that. I think we are lucky. I think these ones aren't actually intersecting. We'll see. Oh. Are we coming back up? Nope, still in mode drilling. I need to add some more data to here, and I need to actually greeble up this thing, make it look a lot prettier. But we have a working system, a working drill. Oh, if this works all the way through, I'm going to be ecstatic. Oh, we're in delivering. We've gotten some more stone. Oh, I love that system. Goes up, delivers. Okay, I don't know whether I mentioned, but what I did with this is I took off the search in order to do all of the find all of the cargo containers outside of the drilling rig. And what you can do is you can set this to, can we see it on here? Collect all on. So what that does is it seems to look in this connector and say, give me all of your stuff on the other side. So, yep, that's fine. That does, no, there we go. That does what we want it to do. And of course the filter decides, the sorter, not filter, decides what can go through. So it will clear out these inventories, and once we detect nothing is wrong, it will go and continue. Another thing is, there's a difference between... I might have to just do this in the editing later and discuss it while I do the time-lapse of the coding, but computer has the name computer here, but in the queue it's a blueprint rather than a component, and its name is computer component rather than just computer, which is really a pain, because I had to add a little if statement just for computers. I don't know why they did that. They probably, it's probably something like legacy code has ended up with different IDs for basically the same thing in different context. But it'd probably be a pain for them to refactor, but whatever. Yeah. Couple of details I need to fix on this thing. Maybe I'll do it between episodes, we'll see. And these different modes was so useful as I was doing the debugging. So there's start, which would start it drilling from the beginning again. Pause, which keeps control of all the components but puts them in a relatively nice position. It merges the block on, switches these off, retracts this until we connect. It connects, make sure the clamp is connected, etc, etc. So it is really nice and wonderful. Oh, and surprisingly, the fact that it kept the assembler stocked up was a nice little boost for when I was debugging the assembler. So yeah. And then manual, the third one, is for keeping everything as it is but not setting any of the states, so I could go around and say, oh, disconnect from me please. So yeah, the last one was when I was doing the grinding, it was stopping prematurely, so I set that to mode grind to continue the grinding process, and I could debug that. So I can take that off now, actually. I should not need that as an extra one. Oh, in fact, we're in retracting mode, so let's see it in action. And comes off, goes down, reconnects, clamps back, grinds away. Yes, please do it. Connects back, starts welding. Yes! And do we add anything to the queue? We only use a smidgen of things, to be honest. And then we're adding nickel and stuff. Yeah. Oh, it seems fine. Seems like it's all working. I am ecstatic. So, this is the Al Mechanist signing off. Hope you enjoyed the episode. For real this time. And I will see you guys next time. Ta-ra!